few months ago, I made a video where I showed you different tarp setups that you can do with one simple tarp. Just to show you a quick recap of some of the tarps that I built before. We made a few different ones and they all worked really well, and I really enjoyed making them. There was loads of different options to choose from of what could suit for different situations, but there was one I could not do. Today, I finally managed to do it. And today, I've finally shown you how to create a tent tarp. So stick around for this video and I will show you how we make this. Okay, so to make this tarp tent, I've brought back my DD Hammocks tarp, which is the 3x3 version. It's the same as I used in my other videos. I like this one, it's a good tarp. So the first thing that you need to do is you need to clear the area, because you don't want anything like logs underneath your tarp tent. So give yourself a bit of a clear area. Next, what we're going to do is lie out our tarp. All you need to do is just place it on the ground, ready to be used. So what we're going to do is just spread it out, just so we can see where it's laying out. Make sure it's in the right spot. Some of this bit out. Okay, so now we've got our tarp laid out. I'm going to first show you how to do the back end of the tarp, and then we'll look at doing the entrance. Now, instead of pegging the points in on this point or this point, what we're going to do is we're going to peg on either side of those corners. So for the left side, we'll peg here, and on the right side, we'll peg here and here. So the first thing we're going to do, like I said, is leave this corner. We're not going to peg it. We're going to peg either side. Like so. And now it's time to do the right side. Make sure you've got everything pulled as tight as possible. You want things looking tidy when we're doing this. So I've done that one. And again, skip this end and we're going to do this side. Perfect. What you want to do with these ends is I like to tuck them in just to keep everything tidy. Right, so we've got it clipped in there and there, there and there. You can put a peg in here if you want to, bring it out, stops the wind from coming in. I probably will do that just to keep it tidy. But let's go to the front section and work on that. Now, for the front, we are going to be using the corner, but we're not going to be pegging it in here, otherwise it won't form the shape that we want. So we're going to be bringing it past the second loop, close to the center. So we are going to be bringing it possibly around there. And now we're going to do it to the other side. So we're going to put our peg in here. We're going to go past this loop, halfway to the center one, and place it in there. Now we got those pegs in, what we need to do is we need to put a pole in the middle center part. I've brought my trekking pole with me. It's adjustable, so most of them are. You can get them to the right height. But this is the thing that I'm going to use to put in the center. Now, there are pros and cons to doing this, and I will show you at the end of the video, but we're going to try it with this first and see how it looks. I apologize in advance. It's not going to look graceful for me climbing into this, but it needs to be done and you need to see how it goes. So let's give it a go. Now we're going to try and gracefully climb into this so we can put this up. Now, I would recommend when you're doing this that you have a tarp below you, because if you haven't got a tarp below you, you're going to get pretty wet. Okay, poles in. That was awful. The ground is wet and it's not very nice, so I would recommend either do it on a really dry day, and if you can't, put something underneath just to keep your legs from getting wet. Maybe throw a tarp in just to crawl on. But it's done. That's the main thing. I know it doesn't look like much at the moment, but I tell you what, it's working. So the next thing you need to do is you need to tie some guidelines on these centerpieces. And this is going to go all the way back to the back peg that we did over here. Now for the other side, just get that tied on and brought to the back. And we're going to hook this on the back one, like the other side. Just give it now for the back of our tarp tent, I've got a guideline on here, and what's that going to do? It's just going to bring out just a little bit, just to get a bit more headspace. But don't pull it too tight, otherwise you are risking knocking everything over. So we're just bringing it out just enough, just to give us just a little bit more space. And there you have it. Here's the tarp tent. Now I'm going to crawl in one more time just to show you, but you do have quite a bit of room. Even with the pole here, you have got quite a bit of room. You can sit up if you want to. So you have got plenty of room to sleep. So I would have the sleeping mat right back here and sleep here. And then if you wanted to, you've got your layout of other things there. You probably could cook in here, but I'd be careful with having any flames. So I'll have it on low heat. Right, so yeah, so I've quite enjoyed putting this one up. As I said, it's not something that I would do as a regular thing. It does take a bit of time. If you do happen to want a shelter that you want up quickly because of the rain and stuff, I wouldn't recommend doing this one. I'd recommend sticking with something like an A-frame or something like that. But if the weather isn't too bad, then this might be a good one to put up. You probably could get 2 people in here. It'd be comfortable, especially with gear, but I reckon you probably could. But I like the fact that you've got the rain cover at the front, so any rain that will drip off here will slide down. And it's the same for all the way around, because you've got this point, all the rain will slide down, so it's not going to sit there on top of the tarp. Now, I did peg around some of the edges, and it has made it quite flappy. So I would recommend putting some pegs around there. And if you don't have any, then carve some out from some sticks and stick them in there, just to hold it down a bit more. The wind isn't going to blow it over, but it just stops any wind from getting underneath. Now, if you do want to make it so it is extremely windproof and a lot more rainproof, then what you can do is you can bring these parts in. The ones you've clipped to the back, you probably can bring those in and bring them into a point here, and that would make a diamond shape. Now, that would have a doorway, and you could clip it up here just to kind of like get it tidied up, but that would protect you from the wind or rain a bit more. So that is an option if you want to, but you can use it this way if the weather's not too bad. But I'm quite happy with this, and I'm very, very glad that I finally managed to make this. When I made the tarp video 3 months ago, and I tried to make this, and my phone died, I was losing sunlight, it just wasn't working for me. Now, this was the one that I was really excited to make, because I've seen it all over the internet, but I finally made it, and I'm glad that I can now put that in the past until I use this in practical use. Anyway, thank you very much for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please feel free to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. It really does help the channel. If there's anything you would like to see me do in any future videos, then drop a comment down below and let me know. But thanks again, and I will see you in the next video.